Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and today on the podcast, we are asking and answering, well, at least exploring a very strange but poignant question. Is the coffee game rigged? You ready? Let's do it. This podcast is brought to you by Mapper Forward's new Patreon community, the Global Coffee Think Tank. Check the show notes or head to patreon.com/Mapper Forward to find out how you can become a member today. Okay, friends, so is the coffee game rigged? This is a question that I've been asking based on the number of businesses that seem to open and seem to close. You would think that with the amount of businesses that open, whether it be cafes or whether it be roasteries or whether it be online stores, subscription programs, whatever it is, you would think that this is a massively winning game. Over the past 5 years on this podcast, we have been exploring an underlying theme, and that is who's making all the money in the coffee industry. Now, I can tell you that while there are some very, very big winners in the coffee industry, usually when people are winning, it comes at a cost to somebody else. So typically, if a coffee roaster is winning big, it's because other people in the supply chain, other participants and stakeholders in the supply chain sacrifice, willingly or unwillingly, for that person to make a big win. For example, coffee roasters that make huge margins are typically underpaying for coffee, or they're buying very low quality coffee, underpaying for it, and then pitching it as specialty coffee. They're leveraging their brand. So their brand is what gives them the ability to do some less than savory things. So, there are many examples of how for one part of the supply chain to win, other people have to suffer. This happens, there are producers that win big. A lot of the time that comes at an expense to fair wages to their pickers. There's a lot of examples of this. Cafe owners underpay their staff, etc., etc. As you can see, there's a theme going on there. Now, when I started consulting in the coffee industry, the one thing that I started to realize was how surprised most business owners are at the fact that there's not a much bigger margin in coffee. And these were always cafe owners who were trying to operate their business above board. So the common theme would be that they pay their staff well, that they participate in the supply chain in a responsible way. They pay all their bills. They don't screw over suppliers. So the participants in the supply chain who are above board seem to struggle in a big way. Struggle to the point where they're living month to month. Are there some things that they weren't doing right? Well, yes, absolutely. They didn't understand how to read financial statements. And even when we got them to the point where they did understand how to read financial statements, they realized that if I want to run a business and not screw over my suppliers, I have to elevate my prices to a point where I won't be competitive at all. So you look at that and you think, well, then if these are the people who are not winning, who is winning? And what we've come to realize that the big winners, there's 3 big winners in the coffee business. And this is what led me to believe that I think that yes, the coffee game is rigged. The big winners are, number 1, the banks. The banks are the ones who collect from the producer's end. When producers take out loans, those loans are usually between, the interest rates are usually between 30 to 50% interest rates, which are astronomical. Agricultural loans are amongst the highest interest rates in the world. On the other side of things, the bank offer businesses loans, roasters and cafe owners, importers, exporters, they offer them loans at particularly high interest rates. Now, the bank's going to get paid no matter what. So, number one, the bank gets paid, and they're one of the big winners out of our supply chain. Number two is landlords. So, landlords on commercial loans make usually the second biggest chunk, if not the biggest chunk, of the expense towards a business. So the two biggest expenses are not, as you may think, cost of goods sold or cost of goods manufactured. It's not that. The two biggest expenses are usually labor and rent. So the second big winner is landlords. The third big winner is the equipment suppliers for your cafe or your roastery or your farm. They are the biggest, especially for cafes and roasteries, the biggest expense, which feeds into the other one because businesses usually need to take out loans to cover either their starting capital or to purchase new equipment. When you look at it, these equipment companies have no interest in advising businesses not to open. If the information was out there that was educating new business owners about the actual state of profitability in our industry, a lot fewer businesses would open businesses, or a lot fewer potential business owners would open businesses. And this is a real problem. The real problem has come to a head in 2022 because people are starting to realize that the business model is broken, and all the other things, labor shortages and the pandemic and supply chain, etc., have stressed the business out so much that the people who will continue to get paid, the lease agreements for equipment that you've got, your landlord will continue to get paid and the bank will continue to get paid. None of those people are ever going to discourage you from opening a business because they know that as many cafes as open, as many roasteries that open, these are the fundamental things that you need to open your business, whether you survive or not. These are your startup costs a lot of the time. And once you're locked in, you are locked in. And so, is the coffee game rigged? I think we are going to have a solid answer for that by the end of this year. And I think, personally, I lean towards qualifying that question a little bit. Is the traditional business model for the coffee industry proving to be rigged? I would say that it is outdated and we need a different model. And if you keep applying it now, yes, it's rigged. It's rigged against the business owner. We got to do something different, folks. The business model isn't working, and I am seeing far too many new businesses open, from baristas and roasters saying, well, I don't want to work for somebody else right now. I'm done. I'm just going to open my own business. This is such a dangerous time to open a business. And in this month, we are going to cover kind of a red flag warning to new business owners. But what do you think? Do you think that the coffee game is rigged? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Tell us in the comments below and let me know. Do you agree or disagree with what I've said today? Peace, love, and peanut butter, friends. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks, friends. If you enjoyed this video, here's what you should check out next. Consider supporting Map It Forward on Patreon and be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell before you leave.